This is just a quick video about bending. I've been thinking a lot about it lately and just how necessary it really is. And then the other day I got a message from somebody asking me about bending, if I could help him with it. And he said that over the last few years he'd given up on playing harmonica because he couldn't bend. So I gave him some tips, but it just reinforced what I'd been thinking about. How necessary is it to actually bend the harmonica? So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. So I'll just come out and say that you can develop quite a substantial repertoire without having to bend a single note. Now I'll qualify that statement. If you want to play blues, then yep, you've got to learn how to bend notes. But there's all this other music out there as well. And if you're not really that fussed on playing blues, then you may be able to develop this repertoire of tunes without having to do any bending at all. If you follow my channel, you probably know that I teach a lot of Irish and Scottish music, and I pick a lot of tunes that you don't actually have to bend, and the majority of those tunes really require no bending. There's the odd tune where you might have to bend a note, but you could literally develop a repertoire of hundreds, thousands of these tunes without ever having to bend a note. There's even a harmonica tuning developed so that you don't have to bend any notes when you're playing Celtic music. It's the Paddy Richter tuning. So it just changes one note that otherwise you would have to bend. So I've done different videos on that. You can see this video here. It's about alternative tunings that I mentioned for playing Celtic music. And also I recently made a video on how to tune a Paddy Richter, so you can check that out here. Paddy Richter tunings are also available commercially. And there's also other tunings that I haven't mentioned in any of my videos that people use, and they're all just different ways of making it easier to play certain music. So that's one way to get around the issue of bending. I'll say it again, if you want to play Celtic music, Irish music, Scottish music, stuff like that, you can develop a substantial repertoire of the standards and also lesser known tunes without having to bend a single note. And also too, American music as well, American old time bluegrassy sort of stuff. Some of the tunes you will have to learn how to bend, but there's also a substantial repertoire there that you don't have to do any bends. And I see too in the American old time music that the Paddy Richter tuning is starting to be used there as well. I've been in communication a bit with some of the people who follow what I do, and there's one thing that I've learned. There's a group of people who just don't care about blues music. They're not interested, they don't want to play it, or they've got a marginal interest in it, but they really want to play stuff like Celtic music or that old time American music. And that's what my goal is, to help them do that. There's some fantastic harmonica teachers out there, but there's one thing that I've noticed is most of them follow this blues centric way of playing harmonica. So if you're learning those teachings, one of the things that you get asked to do very early is to learn how to bend notes. So you have to think, how committed are you to learning blues? Because if you're not, then you may just be able to get away without having to bend notes, and you can get into another style of playing that you don't have to do that. I know from people who have contacted me that many people struggle with bending notes. So I'd like you just to ask yourself, if you're one of those people, how committed are you to learning blues? Is it really what you want to do with harmonica? And if it's not, then you might just be able to bypass that technique and go on to just play some fantastic music that doesn't require bends at all. So just have a think about it. If you're really struggling, don't let the bend technique necessarily put you off playing the harmonica. So that's something that's been on my mind that I just had to get out there, and I hope it helps some people if you're struggling with bending. So until next time, see you later.